Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Crispy Kareem. I come here to say my opinion, get things off my chest, whatever's invading my mind, whatever's taking up my brain space, it comes out on here so that I can have more of a clear mind to think and do things. And you have come to listen to my opinion for some reason. So thank you. Welcome to my channel. If you like what you see, like, share, and subscribe. And if you don't like what I see, tell everyone else what a piece of doo-doo I am, and maybe they can come over and also call me a piece of doo-doo. Let's get into this video, and I'm going to explain to you why I think Charity Week should die. I'm going to get more into that specific statement. It might be a bit harsh, but I'll explain more what I mean, because, you know, a title's a title. You can't really get nuance in a title. So, what is Charity Week? So, according to the website, Charity Week was first trialled out in 2000 at a school called St. George's Medical School in South London, and it slowly spread to other universities in London. It's then spread further across the country and now also exists in places like mainland Europe, USA, Canada, South Africa. It's quite a universal thing in the sort of Western hemisphere of Muslims. So it used to be championed by FOSIS, which is the Federation of Student Islamic Societies, but they then chose to divorce themselves from it, and it's now solely run by Islamic Relief, which is probably the biggest Muslim charity in the UK. But that is the sort of story of FOSIS. I'm kind of fudging it a bit. You can link their website and you can read more into it on there. And my experiences with Charity Week were that I went to two predominantly Muslim sixth forms, and so they did do Charity Week there, but it wasn't explicitly called Charity Week. I didn't know it as a national or international thing at the time until I started university. And so when I first did it, it was 2017 and I was in my foundation year. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it in 2018. You know, we did like bake sales, we had quizzes, we had other stuff, and the big thing tends to be the charity dinner. And you know, there's the university one, there's the regional ones, and there's all this other stuff that with like guest speakers and all this you know, fat fun pizzazz and fun. And I did genuinely enjoy it, and I understand why because of that, I do understand why some people might take offense to this video. They're going to get really defensive. So, you know, please remember, this is just my opinion. You're entitled to yours. Please, if you disagree, do it politely in the comment section and don't get so angry. I'm just a person, I'm a human being like you. What got our ISOC to stop doing Charity Week, and we weren't the first ISOC to stop doing Charity Week, was there are a lot of things, and I'm going to explain it. But one of the people I knew who was also in FOSTA told me about how when she did her undergrad at King's College, a lot of people would act in a really catty way, and they would be very argumentative and overly competitive. And so when she was raising money in the streets, people would ask her, like, what university are you from, then refuse to give it to her because they wanted their charity to win. And I'm like, is that really okay? Are you right in the head? It doesn't matter. You're supposed to be doing this for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and people just don't know that when there's so much competition laid into it, and it kind of messes with your intentions, and it takes you away from like what giving to charity really is about in an Islamic sense, and it makes it more of a competition. And I don't think any I'm not completely against charity being a competition, but I think for the most part we should just stray away from it. Because if you remember that show, The Activist, with Usher and Priyanka Chopra as the judges with some other white lady, everyone made fun of it because it was like, well, why are we making activism and social advocacy a competition? It should just be about the thing itself, and it shouldn't be made to compete with each other. And yeah, that's what Charity Week does with Muslims fundraising. It makes it into a charity, into a competition, an unnecessary competition that distracts us from seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we seek these worldly rewards of coming first and numerical measures of our good deeds that don't mean anything on the day of judgment. So that is the first reason we got away with it. We got like rid of it. And then the next thing was that apparently a lot of dinners had like very inappropriate behavior, a lot of free mixing. I was talking about this in the Met Gala video. There was like free mixing. There was just a lot of aggressive behavior between different like universities. I don't remember, but it was just not very appropriate behavior. There was like a lack of Islamic etiquette, and this it was just a catalyst for the kind of behavior you wouldn't really expect or want from a Muslim. As a Muslim, because you're expected to uphold Islamic values through our actions, through our speech, through our thoughts, all the time, as much as we can. It's not as tiring as it sounds, though. But it was in my third year when we stopped doing Charity Week, and so I didn't take part in most of the events that were done by the nearby ISOCs, and I only did the bake sale. I made my brownies, and I went to the Charity Week dinner that was held in their campus, and I actually didn't really enjoy myself at the time, and I enjoyed the food and the actual vibes, it was okay, but the thing is, there was a lot of, they kept doing this bidding thing, and they had this weird thing where they had a mushaf and they had a cake, and what they would do is you have to bid a certain amount for the mushaf and the cake, like each person has to, and I don't know who ate the cake or where the mushaf went, but I didn't read the mushaf. I didn't have a slice of the cake, which was a shame because the cake looked very tasty, but there's a lot of peer pressure around spending a lot, and everyone's kind of looking at you, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put in this amount of money because I don't want anyone looking at me. And I mean, I know that money's helping poor people, but I also know that because it was just out of peer pressure and just feeling like I was put on the spot, I'm pretty sure that money isn't gonna help me on the day of judgment. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just didn't. I felt uncomfortable the whole night. And I remember the person who directs Charity Week in like that region as well, he came up to me and he said, well, why isn't your Islamic Society doing it anymore? Why don't they do it? Can I speak to someone on your committee? And I'm like, no, we've decided not to do it because it's not really for us. We have a lot of international students in our society, in our student body, more than usual, and most of them aren't familiar with Charity Week. Most of them are postgrad students, so they're only here for a year. They're not going to really engage with it because they don't get it. They come from countries like India and Indonesia and Saudi Arabia. They don't really have the concept of Charity Week there. And he's like, yeah, we can make it inclusive for international students, but they really don't get it because this is mainly a thing that happens with like home students and students from like other developed countries, and South Africa, I don't know if that counts as a developed country or not. But it's kind of part of the British Muslim culture, so I get why people like it. But in ISOCs, where almost all of the students, and without ISOC, it felt like about 80% of the students were international students, and they were from like everywhere, but they weren't familiar with Charity Week, and it happens just as they get here. So you tell them about Charity Week, and they're going to be confused, and they're not going to engage with it because it's not, an Islamically ordained thing. I don't know if that's the right word. It's not an Islamic thing like Eid or Ramadan. It's just something we made up 21 years ago, and it's kind of takes away from there's a hadith that says the best kind of charity is that which is small and consistent, and giving loads and loads of money in one week is not exactly fitting with that. And the other thing is that a lot of students do say that the thing that defines their life as a Muslim student is Charity Week, which is again not really like something that's from the Quran and Sunnah itself. So that's kind of fishy. Why does that take precedence over something like Ramadan, which also requires a lot of effort? And both require a lot of effort. Like, I've seen people do hype weeks, they'll do 2 weeks of events, and they'll do another, like, oh, this is the climb that we're gonna do on Mount Snowdon or Ben Nevis or wherever. And it's kind of crazy how so much effort gets put into something, and then we don't realize that our intentions are skewed because we genuinely think like what we're doing is good. So I get that it's fun, but it's not really the kind of thing you look back at it, and when you realize you've had that sort of talk and you've heard those points, you realize that, oh yeah, Charity Week really isn't the best thing for us as Muslims. It's not the kind of thing we should carry on with. But I get why people like it so much. I think with it, because it's so part of the British Muslim culture, I think it's so hard to detach yourself from it. The reason why I was kind of annoyed at first, but I did find it easier to detach myself from the whole Charity Week hype. First of all, because of the peer pressure thing that happened to me in my third year, but also because the British Muslim culture varies from where you are in the UK and kind of depends on like your cultural and ethnic demographic. And I went to the sixth forms I went to were predominantly South Asian, but I'm Arab, so I was a bit of an outsider. I've never really fitted in with that kind of British Muslim culture. So I kind of have an outsider view of it, and most of my ISOC friends were international students, so it's very different, and there's less scope to feel left out in that kind of environment because everyone's new. It's not like you're um with your sixth form and secondary school friends anymore. So going back, I'm not making this up, but we thought about doing like monthly charity drives, so like pairing up with a smaller charity that does different things. You can have money go to different places and do smaller scale fundraisers with events that more people can engage with. That can give a more tangible practice of the charity that is small but consistent, and it doesn't have to be so grand and big, and then you can give more precedence to something like Ramadan. And so that's my video. I might delete this video, not because of who this offends, but for other reasons, which I will not specify. But if this touches a few nerves, I'm sorry, but you have to hear it. The truth needs to be said, and it needs to be heard. But regardless, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, share, and leave a comment. Get the algorithm going.